was seeing you hit the pads, I'm like, this isn't just working out. There was something going on, man. When you were working out with Cordero and you were ripping to the body and throwing those hooks, I was like, this is a man who's preparing to go to combat. This is not normal getting ready to work out shit. That's why when I saw that video, I was like, oh.
I'm gonna tell you something about
Mike Tyson has added Evander Holyfield to his gym ahead of his fight with Jake Paul in some days. While this brings back old memories, many see it as the final piece to Tyson's preparation. Holyfield was the only fighter to defeat Mike Tyson twice. So, sparring with Evander Holyfield will mean sparring with the intent of working on the weaknesses that were exploited during his prime years.
Sure?
Yeah. Absolutely.
You sure?
Yeah.
Fuck with me, it's all right?
Let's do this. You did great.
We're done.
We're gonna do it.
You sure?
Yes.
Trust me. I got a lot in me.
With this, Jake Paul would be facing a watertight defense, where he'd have serious issues connecting any of his punches. One person who even better assessed Mike Tyson's training sessions and gave a perfect analysis of how the training sessions could impact the match was Joe Rogan.
Walked in today, I was like, God damn, you look good. You look good, dude.
Hey.
Like, your muscles look good. You look like you're vascular. You look fit.
And that's,
Though it could be argued that Joe Rogan tended towards Mike Tyson, his analysis was no different from the analysis of countless professionals who have given Tyson a benefit of doubt after chancing upon videos of his training sessions. While he had a big question to ask from Jake Paul as to why he chose to fight the monstrous Tyson, he spoke about Tyson's unbelievable magnificence in the boxing ring and believed he was still as potent. He approached the 31-year difference between the pair like it was nothing and boasted about Tyson's training intensity like a trainer would do to his trainee.
The kid can fight, 100%. And that Tommy Fury fight really showed that. I mean, it goes to a split decision against a legit undefeated boxer.
No, why? I don't care if he's 55. That's still Mike Tyson. Mike's in good shape. Mike trains every day. He trains with Rafael Cordero, who's a legend in MMA. He runs King's Mixed Martial Arts. Rogan had nothing but praises for Mike Tyson as well as his trainer, Rafael Cordero, who he referred to as an MMA legend and renowned trainer. And Rafael is a world-renowned trainer. When you see him holding the mitts for Tyson and Tyson smashing the mitts like Jesus, that guy can still knock you out.
55. That's still Mike Tyson.
Mike's in good shape, too.
Oh, my God.
Mike trains every day.
He trains with Rafael Cordero, who's a legend in MMA. He runs King's Mixed Martial Arts. And Rafael is a world-renowned trainer. When you see him holding the mitts for Tyson and Tyson smashing the mitts, like, Jesus.
Yeah.
Talking to Mike Tyson just after he saw the sparring footage with Rafael Cordero, Joe Rogan told him, "But that's what I was seeing when I saw you hit the pads. I'm like, this isn't just working out. There was something going on, man. When you were working out with Cordero and you were ripping to the body and throwing those hooks, I was like, this is a man who is preparing to go into combat. This is not normal getting ready to work out stuff. That's why when I saw that video, I was like, oh." He also referenced Mike Tyson's last fight 4 years ago against Roy Jones Jr. He stated that the technology for recovery used by Mike and his team were sublime, and these technological tools would likely be at his disposal once again.
That guy can still fuck you up.
He don't want to fight Mike.
In this world with hormone replacement and vitamins and he does all this
With the additional impact of technology, Rogan tipped Mike for a routine victory. In this world with hormone replacement and vitamins and healing, and he does all this like electrical muscular stimulation recovery stuff. When they were training Mike for that Roy Jones fight, they produced state-of-the-art science. Like, I don't care if he's 55 years old, that guy will hurt you. Funnily, Rogan held Mike Tyson in so much high regard that he felt Jake Paul might get starstruck when he sees him in the ring and really wakes to the reality that he's taking on Mike Tyson.
If you think he's 55 years old, that guy will hurt you.
Yeah.
If Jake Paul's on the other side of the ring and he sees Mike Tyson just bobbing and weaving, he's going to have a...
If Jake Paul's on the other side of the ring and he sees Mike Tyson just bobbing and weaving it, he's going to have a recognition, yeah? He's going to look over and, God, that's really Mike Tyson. Joe Rogan then went ahead to show the footage, appreciating Tyson for his speed and power at such an old age. Rogan also looked back at Mike Tyson's match against Roy Jones Jr., sharing his sentiment that he felt an agreement held Tyson back from hitting Jones in the face. Evidently, most of Tyson's punches, except a few, were aimed at Jones's body.
a recognition.
Yeah.
He's going to look over and go, oh my God, that's really Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Like, look at this.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I'm talking, it's still at 55.
Look at this dude. I'm talking he's still at 55. At 55, the power is the last thing to go, but the speed is still there. I don't know what he did with Roy Jones Jr., but in my mind, it looked like they made some sort of agreement that Mike wasn't going to punch him in the face. Because like most of the hits that he hit him with, unless it was a jab or something like that, was to the body, yeah. Mike Tyson stepped onto the spotlighted stage and weighed in at 220 pounds, ripping off his shirt to reveal a muscled torso that could easily belong to an athlete of half his 54 years back then.
At 55, the power is the last thing to go, but the thing is, the speed is still there.
Yeah.
The former heavyweight champion moved into a COVID protective glass box and went nose to nose with Roy Jones Jr., who was once the most talented fighter in the world. Jones's 210-pound frame was slightly less toned, but still clearly in better condition than most of his fellow 51-year-olds. These two boxing greats are older and calmer men now, but they're returning to the ring Saturday night intending to recapture a moment of their brilliant past.
In at 220.4 pounds. In his career of 56 fights, he has 50 victories, including 44 knockouts.
Overwhelmingly, they've both worked very hard to make sure they won't be embarrassed in this extraordinary boxing exhibition. This is the fun part. Everything else to get here was hell, said Tyson, who was fighting for the first time in 15 years. Their fight at Staples Center was an 8-round sparring session of sorts. It had 2-minute rounds, no official judging, and limited violence. Although the limit depends on whether one was asking the California State Athletic Commission or the fighters, who both intend to let their hands go.
8 2-minute rounds sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission.
Are you ready?
Bell in round 1, Ray Corona with
Maybe I don't know how to go easy. I don't know. I don't want to say the wrong thing. I don't want the commission mad at me, Tyson said. But for Tyson and Jones, this unique pay-per-view show was less of a sporting event and more of a chance for two transcendent athletes to prove age was only just a number and aging is a choice. I don't look at life as age. I look at life as energy. You don't bring your age to the table. You bring your energy to the table. You don't go meet people. Hey, I'm Bob. I'm 59. You don't do that, Mike Tyson continued.
just 2-minute rounds. Mike Tyson coming forward.
Boy, look at my uncles. Look at him. Look at my uncles out there fighting in the backyard.
During their face-off, Mike Tyson still seemed surprised by the wave of events that carried him back to the ring. He admitted the younger Tyson never would have believed he would be a middle-aged husband and father who needed to lose 100 pounds 2 years ago, because that headstrong kid from Brooklyn had never thought that far ahead. I didn't even think I would live this long. I was just so intense and just took myself so serious, he said. Tyson got back into shape at the urging of his wife, who got him to start doing 15 minutes a day on the treadmill.
Trying to turn this into a wrestling match.
Go ahead, Roy. Look at Roy got technique, boy. Roy got
He better be careful there.
He's doing the right thing, but he needs to get out of there.
Yeah, because he going to make Mike mad.
The 15 minutes turned into 2 hours and then expanded to biking, running, and eventually punching, along with the adoption of a vegan diet. Never eat anything, just starve and exercise, he said with a huge laugh. The momentum started when he posted a video of a training session on social media early in the coronavirus pandemic, and his crisp, powerful punches led to millions of impressions and a subsequent stream of increasingly lucrative comeback offers, along with the chance to raise money for charities. This is a part of my life that I had pretty much thrown away. My last fight, I didn't have any interest in doing it. I'm interested in doing it now, he said.
Definitely, I'm loving it. I'm loving it so far. They're very competitive. Good fight so far. And we still have a few rounds left.
Feign it and do it.
Tyson was referring to his loss to journeyman Kevin McBride in 2005, when he finally wrapped up his singular career in ugly fashion. He became the heavyweight champion at 20 and reigned over the division for 5 years, but his epic downfall soured him on the sport. Mike Tyson also added, "I want to do it now. Most of the time I was obligated to do it from a contract perspective. If you don't do this, we'll take everything you have and you'll be back in Brownsville. They were blackmailing me. It's a different perspective now."
And what he keeps doing to get away with it, he'll tie one hand, punch with the other, then swap around and tie with the other hand, and keep punching.
See, but only a veteran would be.
While Tyson became an international icon for his brutish, dangerous image and numerous misbehaviors, Jones was widely revered as perhaps the most skilled boxer of his generation. Jones was a preternaturally gifted athlete who dominated his weight classes while still pursuing his passion for basketball. Nate Robinson was a rookie guard for the Knicks in 2005 when Jones participated in a full practice with the team. "I was freaking out," said the 36-year-old Robinson, no stranger to freakish athletic feats as a three-time winner of the NBA Slam Dunk Contest at 5'9". Robinson said, "That was one of the highlights of my life, to be able to rub shoulders and hoop with one of your favorite boxers."
There's just conditioning. That's the only thing he's just leaking in his conditioning.
Jones fought regularly throughout the 2010s, but thought he was finally retired 2 years ago. When he got an offer to be the opponent in Tyson's comeback, Jones couldn't resist the chance to fight a legend he never got to meet during a career spent mostly at light heavyweight. So Jones embarked on his own comeback training regimen. "It's been the craziest thing you ever could have imagined. I can't believe I'm able to maintain my speed at 51 years old. I'm still faster than 95% of the boxing world. And it shocks me. The aches and pains are there because you're 50, and they're going to be there no matter what you do. You just have to have mental strength to overcome adversity," Jones added.
Battered him with the right hand to the body, and Roy Jones again comes in, and Izzy, I know, Mike Tyson, the bigger guy, Roy Jones, clinching, smothering, has to find a way to use that jab. Keep Tyson.
Tyson and Jones were returning to a new world of boxing fandom and consumption, and the show was being promoted by Triller, a video-making app and social media platform, with a fight night show featuring performances by several rappers, a surprisingly solid undercard, and a co-main event pitting Robinson in his professional boxing debut against YouTube star Jake Paul. Robinson and Paul both seem appropriately awed by the circumstances of their bout. "You've got to remember, I'm 23, and this is the first time that people my age will be able to experience a Mike Tyson fight live. I can't believe I'm a part of it," Paul said.
Looking good, Mike. Looking good, Roy.
Shout out to Jersey Joe. A Walcott as now Tyson touches him to begin this round. Round at number 7, Mauro Ranallo along with Hall of Famer Sugar Ray Leonard, undefeated UFC.
Neither Tyson nor Jones is likely done with boxing after this show. Jones said he hoped to fight mixed martial arts legend Anderson Silva next if this one goes well, while Tyson will go wherever this strange trip takes him next. "Me being here is already a success. Me just existing as a human being is a success," Mike Tyson said, and closed. However harsh and strong they sound, Joe Rogan's comments wouldn't be taken too far by many who have known him to erroneously use some unacceptable words in his statements.
They beat on each other because they don't know each other's style, and they try to figure it out in 2 minutes ain't enough time. By the time you get to the minute and 30 seconds, it's too late.
And in his prime, Jones, known for his unique and unorthodox fighting style, defied many of boxing's oldest traditions.
He even had occasions where he had to tender public apologies for some of his commentaries. Once, Joe Rogan issued an apology on Instagram after a compilation of the podcaster frequently using the N-word on his podcast spread widely on social media. Rogan used the word more than 20 times in the clips from different podcast episodes, which he said were compiled over a span of 12 years. In his apology, Rogan said it's the most regretful and shameful thing he has ever had to address publicly.
I've ever had to talk about publicly. There's a video that's out that's a compilation of me saying the N-word. It's a video that's made of clips taken out of context.
I know that to most people, there's no context where a white person is ever allowed to say that, never mind publicly on a podcast, and I agree with that. Now, I haven't said it in years, Rogan added. Rogan also addressed a video of him comparing a black neighborhood to a Planet of the Apes movie. "I certainly would never want to offend someone for entertainment with something as stupid as racism," he said. Afterwards, Spotify, one of the biggest streaming services in the world, was under intense pressure because it was the exclusive distributor of Rogan's popular show.
And I agree with that now. I haven't said it in years, but for a long time, when I would bring that word up, like if it would come up in conversation and stay.
A Spotify representative declined to comment on whether it will take any action against Rogan, but a person familiar with the matter expressed that the company had been having conversations with Rogan's team about concerns with some of his past episodes. At some point, it appeared that Spotify had removed more than 70 episodes of Joe Rogan's podcast, according to the tracking site dramissing.com. In fact, Rogan decided to remove certain past episodes in concert with his apology. Rogan said in his apology, he's not racist. Whenever you're in a situation where you have to say, I'm not racist, you F up, and I clearly have F up, Rogan said.
Another word like it in the entire English language, because it's a word where only one group of people is allowed to use it, and they can use it in so many different ways. Like if a white person says that word, it's racist and toxic.
Rogan addressed a video of him comparing a black neighborhood in Philadelphia to a Planet of the Apes movie in a deleted podcast, claiming he was trying to say they were in Africa because there's a lot of black people there. Planet of the Apes did not take place in Africa, which Rogan acknowledged. I certainly would never want to offend someone for entertainment with something as stupid as racism, Rogan said. Just before then, Rogan had brought up the subject of race in an episode of his podcast with guest Jordan Peterson, a Canadian psychologist and climate change skeptic. After a brief discussion of the spectrum of shades of people, Rogan said it was strange to call someone black or white based on their skin tone.
It could be lyrics to a rap song. It could be a positive affirmation. It's a very unusual word, but it's not my word to use. I'm well aware of that now. And there's another clip that I have to address. There's a clip from a...
Despite the allegations against Rogan, the fact remains that he is so loved by many. He not only has a decent relationship with Mike Tyson, he's also got a good friendship with Dana White. Once Rogan got into that controversy, the UFC were prepared to part ways with Rogan over the controversy. However, White refused to let that happen under his watch, and the then president threatened to resign if they cut his longtime friend. White said, "Anybody who is with me and has been with me knows when you're with me, you're with me. It's a two-way street. It's not a one-way street. I'm not one of these guys that is going to roll over."
Dropped off by a cab, and we got dropped off in this all-black neighborhood. And I was trying to make the story entertaining, and I said, we got out, and it was like we were in Africa. It's like we were in Planet of the Apes. I did not.
It's like going through VOBID. I wasn't laying off any of these people. Some of these people have been with me for 20 years. We're gonna lay them off? This MF will burn before I would do that to my people. It's just none of that type of stuff is ever gonna happen while I'm here. I can't say what's gonna happen when I leave, but when I'm here, the people who are with me and have been with me know exactly what's up, and Joe knows what's up. Rogan began working for the UFC in 1997, 4 years before White took over as president. It's a two-way street. Joe Rogan has been very loyal to me, and I am very loyal to Joe Rogan.
Made a clip out of it and taken out of context. It looks terrible, but it looks terrible even in context. It's a fucking idiotic thing to say. And
after Zuffa took over the UFC in 2001 and made White the face, Rogan attended some events and became friends with the newly appointed president, who offered him a job as a commentator. It's a fact that he doesn't care about money, and he did the first 13 shows free for us, White continued. That was at a time when we were hurting, and he was like, wait a minute, do you want me to do the commentary? You're saying I get to sit in the best seat in the house and watch these fights for free? Yeah, I'm in. Then, obviously, when he turned things around, we made it up to Joe. But Joe is one of the things I loved early about the UFC.
With something as stupid as racism. My sincere and humble apologies. I wish there was more that I could say, but...
Rogan has worked with the UFC for more than 2 decades. He got his start with the promotion as a backstage interviewer at UFC 12. But he ended up quitting his role after 2 years as his salary could not cover the cost of traveling to the events, which were often held in out-of-the-way locations. Even when White and the Fertitta brothers were in control, it looked like the promotion would fail, having struggled to get their fights on TV and sanctioned in some states. Then one fight in 2005 changed everything, and the company has not looked back since, and it was sold for $4 billion in 2016 and merged with the WWE in 2023, and White became CEO. Rogan has remained a regular on UFC PPV events ever since. Joe Rogan has come for Jake Paul. Let's see who's next. And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.